Thomas Blind Tom Wiggins was born in Columbus, Georgia in 1848 on a slave plantation owned by Wiley Jones. Though Tom was originally designated to be sold off or left for dead for his blindness and presumed uselessness on a slave plantation, Tom's mother fought to keep him with the rest of his family by arranging to have herself, her husband, Tom, and her two other children sold as a group to a different master, General James Bethune. Though the diagnosis did not exist in the 19th century, current historians believe that Wiggins was an autistic savant. Savant syndrome is a condition in which someone with significant mental disabilities demonstrates certain abilities far in excess of average. The skills at which savants excel are generally related to memory. This may include rapid calculation, artistic ability, map making, or musical ability. Wiggins is believed to have been the first African-American artist to perform at the White House when he played for President James Buchanan in 1860. By that time, Blind Tom, as the unsighted enslaved child, was billed professionally by his white master/manager, Colonel James Bethune, had toured the United States and was a national musical sensation. Those at the command performance in the executive mansion were also amazed that such moving and masterful music flowed from someone who suffered apparent mental deficiencies as well as blindness and also was a Negro. In an era when even many abolitionist whites presume all blacks to be an inherently inferior race, one newspaper critic in attendance reported that Blind Tom's musical skills surpassed Mozart's. When Tom was 8, his master hired him out to Perry Oliver, a showman and concert promoter. Wiggins was promoted as something of a circus freak, an otherworldly combination of heaven-sent talent and terrifying disability. At this age, he could learn others' compositions with an astonishing facility. He and Oliver went from town to town and state to state, netting Bethune and Oliver large sums of money. Tom was one of the highest paid pianists of his time, earning Bethune and Oliver the modern equivalent of over $1 million a year. Even during the Civil War, Wiggins continued to perform. During this period, the 14-year-old Wiggins composed The Battle of Manassas, his best-known piece. This composition combined the sonic, emotional, and physical impact that the battle exerted upon those who witnessed it. After the Civil War, Blind Tom continued to perform, crisscrossing the United States and Europe. Tom played original compositions drawn from his detailed observations of nature and pieces by other composers. Though he appeared happy while absorbed in his piano playing, Wiggins' apparent joy hid the misery he experienced off the stage. He was isolated from other people when he wasn't performing in front of an audience. The money from Tom's performances continued to go to white people who exploited him for his talents. His mistreatment caused him to develop anxiety and depression. In concert, audience members would call out the names of any musical piece and Tom would play it perfectly on cue. Theater patrons would even approach the stage, play a composition on Tom's piano of their own creation, and Tom would play it back perfectly. One evening, an audience member sat at Tom's piano on stage and began to play. His chosen composition was intricate and involved him moving his hands apart down the length of the piano. When he reached the ends, the player threw his head down and struck a key with his nose. As Tom resumed his position to play back what he had just heard, the audience members held their breath. Tom played up to the note that was struck by the man's nose 2 or 3 times, obviously confused. But on the final play, with Tom's hands stretched to the ends of the piano, Tom dropped his head and hit the correct key with his nose. A witness reported that he thought that the roof of the building would collapse due to the roar of the audience's response to Tom having called the trick. In another performance, Tom played one song with his left hand, another with his right, and sang a third all at the same time and all in different pitches. He was known to jump up from his bench after his own performances and lead the audience in their applause, applauding himself. At the height of Tom's career, his repertoire of performance music was said to consist of 7,000 compositions, including a few of his own. General Bethune was appointed as Tom's legal guardian after emancipation, and his son John Bethune later became Tom's manager. John was caught up in a messy divorce with a woman named Eliza. Following the divorce, Eliza sued General Bethune for custody of Tom. She won the suit. In an effort to take control of Wiggins' income, Eliza Bethune persuaded his mother to officially sign over all of his rights to her, and Wiggins moved with Bethune when she relocated to New York. For several years, Charity Wiggins also lived with her son in Bethune's New York home. Charity soon realized Eliza was not going to honor her words and moved back to Georgia. Tom was not allowed to see the Bethunes or his mother, who remained in Columbus, ever again. Blind Tom's final years were spent holed up in Eliza Bethune's house in Hoboken, New Jersey, which had been purchased with Wiggins' earnings. 3 weeks before his death in 1908, Tom suffered from a stroke that partially paralyzed his hands. On the night that he died, Eliza could hear Tom trying to play the piano but becoming frustrated by his paralysis. Through his sobs, Eliza heard him say, "I'm done. All gone, missus," followed by a thunderous thud of his body collapsing on the floor. Without music, his joy in life and will to live was all gone. There is considerable debate, however, about his burial site. Initially, he was interred in the Evergreen Cemetery in Brooklyn, New York, though some argue at the time that the body buried there was not Blind Tom's. Others believe that Wiggins was initially buried there but was later exhumed and reinterred near his birthplace in Columbus. Today, 2 plaques, one in Brooklyn and another in Columbus, mark the possible resting places of Blind Tom. A musical prodigy, a genius, Thomas Wiggins, also known to the world as Blind Tom. To hear the Battle of Manassas, click the link in the description section below. To you, the viewer that just watched this video, these stories need to be told. Please like, share, and most of all, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and peace.